and welcome to Furious Driving, and this, in case you missed my previous episode, is my new to me 1982 Suzuki SC100 Whizz-Kid GX, which is one of the rarest and most interesting cars on British road. And in this episode we're going to take another stab at making this car actually start for the first time, and more importantly we're going to de-bling it and see what's underneath those seat covers, because yeah. It's a Japanese K car based on the Fronte, which evolved into the, I can't remember how you pronounce it even, other car in Japan, which is under K car size dimensions with a 600 and something cc engine in Japan. For Europe, well for Britain and Holland I think it was, they got the big block 970 cc 4-cylinder, which is what this car has. Now, as you saw in the last episode, it arrived here, it hadn't moved in a few months, but not that long, but it had been with the same owners for 43 years. They bought it brand new and used it until they stopped driving. Now in that first episode on this car, I was trying to make it start. Now the previous owners had been using it, as lots of commenters had mentioned in the comments, that they thought they'd seen a car very similar to this running around in North Kent for years and years and years, and yes, it was this one. There really is only one like it. And it's an unusual colour, it's very personalised, so if you think you've seen this car anywhere in North Kent in the last 40 years, yes, it was this car. Anyway, it wouldn't start. So last episode I was trying to sort out, first of all, make sure the ignition was working, check the compression was working. A few people commented, A, why didn't I check the fuel system? And my answer to that is I was getting to that. I was trying to do it in amongst rainstorms and amongst going to work, in amongst doing family stuff. And so it was quite difficult. And a couple of times it looked like the spark had stopped, but then it seemed to come back again. I think maybe, I don't know, it's just stuff. So we can now check the fuel system in this video. And the other thing a few people commented was that they thought the ignition timing was out because of the way it was kind of stuttering and coughing. And I was a bit curious about that, but I know you should never assume. Assume is the mother of all beep ups. But I was told the car was running a matter of weeks, a couple of months prior to being parked up. It was in regular use. No one has touched that car in the meantime, and the lady selling it to me assumed I was going to drive it home. So there's no reason to think the timing is out, apart from the fact it doesn't start. So we will double check that in this episode as well. But yeah, it would be weird if the timing was out, but obviously nothing's impossible with old cars. But the thing I've been discovering about this car, the hard way really, is that it's a rare car, it's an unusual car, it was sold in low volume here in the first place. Yes, it does share its engine with the Suzuki Carry and the SJ410, the forerunner to the Jimny, but it doesn't really share anything else. And so trying to buy anything for it is fun. My local motor factors are really, really good. They're actually very helpful when it comes to the weird stuff I go and foist upon them. And first of all, they put the number plate into it, didn't even register in their computer. Then I was trying to find parts that they were putting other potential models that were similar, like share parts in, based on what it is. Couldn't find anything. So I've been shopping on the internet and I found stuff. Let me show you. So I have got pretty much a full service kit, almost anyway, all from the internet, all from eBay basically, and every single one of these parts is from a different seller. So we've got a new distributor cap, we have got a new, I think that's a rotor arm, yes it is, got a new oil filter, we've got a new, very old stock set of points for it, we've got a new Motorcraft condenser. I mean, God, look at the age of this thing. And I'm hoping these are all the right parts, because not all of them were exactly right, but they were very, very close. And we've got a new set of HD leads. I've not found an air filter yet, but we'll come to that one. That's kind of a lower priority. And also I've not found a fuel filter, I'm now realising. So yes, there is lots of stuff we have got, which I will be changing in this episode. And I've just noticed that they've added a heel mat. So I'm guessing someone's worn through the carpet just there. So that's all good. Also, the other thing which has come to light, because this is very much a learning curve with this car. So as I say, we are going to be having a proper look at this car in more detail this episode. But something I had looked at this car when I first got it was the mileage. It says 47,500 miles on there. And I thought, well, to be fair, that's probably as far as you would drive a car from this era. Maybe it's gone once around the clock. But good old commenters again, you guys see everything. I don't have to bother doing anything. You just go out there and find stuff and tell me. That isn't 47,000 miles. That's not even 147,000 miles. Some of you have been back through the car's MOT history, which I'll be honest, I hadn't done very far. It seems to have gone around the clock at least twice. This is probably 247,000 miles on this clock, unless that's in kilometres, but I don't think it is. But yeah, either way, that's a lot of miles on a little car. So I need to crack on with a few things, but first of all, I'll show you the most important thing that I've done with this car, and that is I've changed the key fob. This beautiful ZX Spectrum rubber key fob turned up in junk in the trunk last year, or a year before, actually, a long time ago in fact. And I haven't had a good key to put it on. But this car is 1982, so is the Sinclair Spectrum, and this is the perfect key fob for this. The other fob I had been using, which is the one that came with it, was an original Suzuki dealership one. But it looked a little bit tired and faded, and I want to kind of keep it with the car's paperwork and things, because I'm never going to replace that, take it to shows and what have you. So that's the most important thing. Right, let's get on with some stuff. Now, I'll come back to fitting all of this stuff a little bit later, because right now the car has a spark, but the fact it won't start is a bigger issue, so we'll make that a low priority, but it will get done. Now, quick look around the car before we get going. And well, it's had a serious wash under some really nasty rain the last couple of days. The plan was to bring us here to get it started, because it needs to go to the barn ultimately, but I wasn't around to receive it, so it just needed to be dumped on the drive, and I thought I could get it going quickly and drive it over to the barn. Unfortunately, because it won't go, it's stuck here, which is an issue. So it's been rained on quite a lot. It's the first time it's been rained on in quite a while, I imagine. But with this kind of low, strong sunlight, you can really see the bubbling in the paint that's happening around it. The bubbling in the doors, which I knew was there, but it looks a lot worse in this low light. And the bubbling around here, it's all going to need a little bit of attention at some point in the not too distant future. But hilariously, as well as being a hatchback, which I find very amusing indeed, I love the fact you can pull the boot release, or the engine cover release, and catch it with your hand, because it's so close to each other. There's no size in this car at all. It's hilarious. The fuel system on this car is very simple indeed. We've got a fuel tank sitting underneath the back seat. That's where the petrol lives while it's waiting to do explodey stuff. We've got a fuel filter to stop biscuit crumbs, small children and rodent excrement finding its way to the engine. We've got the petrol pump, a little mechanical thing which works off the engine. It's got petrol in, petrol out, and that fires petrol to the carburetor, where it mixes it with the air and goes whoosh into the engine to explode. It is though a weird carburetor. It's not like a downdraft or a standard thing that you'd noticed on a European car. It's a weird one, and that possibly is why when I was squirting stuff into it to make the car go kaboombi, it wasn't going kaboombi, because it was just getting stuck in some weird system of baffles and stuff, a bit like the Crystal Maze but for air and petrol. Possibly that was a problem, possibly the needle was jammed up, possibly other things are broken, I don't know. But what I'm going to do right now is go stage by stage to see how far petrol is getting through the system to find out what is probably broken. So first of all, I'm going to connect a hand pump to the outlet of the fuel filter and try and suck petrol through manually, see if I can fill the fuel filter, because it looks empty at the moment. So this will be interesting to see if it does start sucking petrol up out of the tank or not. Feels like nothing's happening, but is a long way down to that tank. Oh, I can see fuel is now filling into the filter, the filter, which it wasn't doing before. This is a mechanical fuel pump. There we go. Okay, so we've primed the fuel filter now at least. So I'm going to whip this off and reconnect the pump. And because it's a mechanical pump, the cranking of the engine should start drawing fuel up to that point. So we should, when I turn the engine, start seeing petrol come out of there. Let's find out. It looks pretty dry still. No, okay, I can smell petrol, which I couldn't really do before, but I'm not seeing any fuel here gushing everywhere in a dangerous manner like I was expecting to. Having tried that now, I think the fuel pump is the issue here. I think the diaphragm has gone in it, so I'm going to try and find a rebuild kit for that. I'll try and work out what model it is and then get a rebuild kit. And the rain I've been dodging all day has started again, so I'll have to put this away again until well, later at least. This is so annoying. Well, I am 99% certain the problem is with that fuel pump. Given the age of it and the mileage this car's done, and looking at the style of it, I reckon that's going to be the original. I think we did a new one. I'm doing a bit of checking online. I can find one that looks pretty similar. It's like £28 plus £12 postage, but it won't be here for about 10 days. So I'm going to whip this off and take it down my local parts factor and see if they can find anything equivalent. It's only two 13mm bolts and a couple of rubber hoses, and I think I'm going to replace these rubber hoses as well, because honestly, I don't know how old they are, but I'd rather this car didn't burst into flame, because the engine's behind you, but like a Volkswagen, where the car would go up and you wouldn't know about it until afterwards. Two 13mm, and out it comes. Oh my God, there's oil everywhere. Damn, this is oily. I wonder if it's been overfilled with oil. I wonder if that's why I'm getting so much compression. Okay, so this is the fuel pump that I'm looking at. And I've been trying to find some online that look similar, but I can't find them with either the hose inlets and outlets in the same orientation, or the rebuild kits have got the wrong number of screws on top. So I would really like to get something that's, you know, looking the same and sort of vintage, and I might still be able to find a rebuild kit in the future, but in the meantime, this I can take down to my local parts factor and see if they can find anything equivalent. I have taken this old fuel pump down to the motor factors. They have looked at it, they've studied lots of other potential possible alternatives that might do the trick, and they can't find one that matches this part here to trigger it and the input-output pipes on the top of it. So I've had to go with one I found on eBay, which I really hope works the same way, otherwise I am in big trouble. Unfortunately, that is probably a week away from now at the point of filming, so it's probably even longer away in terms of seeing it on camera. So I'm going to put this old broken pump back in again for the moment, just so that no dirt goes into the engine. Fortunately, it's very easy to take on and off. Okay, so I have had a mad idea. I don't have a gallon of petrol at home in order to drip feed into the carburetor and see if it will start, but I do have a hand pump and a fuel filter. So if I put a few drops of petrol into the top of the carburetor and just fill up that float chamber, keep on topping it and topping it until we've actually got a full float chamber in there, this thing might actually start. Fingers firmly crossed. Oh! It runs! It actually runs! It's not broken, the timing's not out, everything works, it's fine.
Happy dance!
It was all possibly on fire. There's a lot of smoke in there. Nothing's actually burning, is it? Okay, I won't do that again for a minute. But yeah, it's running. It's actually running. This does bring me to part 2 of my plan, which was to clean the engine bay, because it's absolutely filthy in there at the moment. Every time I touch anything, I get black hands, black sleeves. So I'm gonna go get some engine cleaner and some other Diamond Bright fabulous products and give this a good clean up, because now I know it works. I mean, it's possible that with the carburetor primed, it might even start sucking fuel through on the pump and I can go and cancel that order. I'm super impatient. I've got to try it one more time, but with the fuel pump connected, see if the fuel pump does do something. Wow, that's incredible. That's amazing, this thing is actually running. Oh, no, it's not running. It needs a fuel pump, but that's so good. The car actually started. And yeah, I spilled oil on the exhaust and that's why it's smoking like crazy. Oh, that's so good. Yeah, it's run out of petrol. I can see the fuel filter, it's still pretty much full. And the pump, which is only like a hand width away, hasn't drawn any fuel out of the filter. in order to pass up to the carb, and the carb was just kind of conked out when it ran out of petrol. No, okay. I did the right thing ordering a new fuel pump. I really hope it's the right one. Let's get that clean. Now, first of all, I'm so relieved that I've not got to go and mess around with the timing on this thing, because obviously it works, and that's one less job. It would have been more exciting video work, but having to work out which one is cylinder one. I know the firing order is 1, 3, 4, 2 on this, but I don't know which end of the engine is one. I think it's that end, but I'm not 100% sure. I did get into the CD-ROM workshop manual that Alan sent me. Thank you, Alan, for that. I found a computer with a CD-ROM in it and copied it across to a USB so I could access it. But anyway, what I'm going to do with this one, I'm going to use a combination of lift-off, which is traffic film remover, which takes a lot of dirt and grease and grime off stuff, engine bright, which is a strong degreaser, and I've got some bike wash, which is kind of related to TFR, but I've not got a motorbike, so might as well use it on here. You also need an old paintbrush to work it into the crevices, and then some sudsy water to wash it all off. I'm going to put the pipe back across there so no water goes into the carburetor, which is also slummy, but everything on this engine bay after 200,000+ miles is kind of greasy, kind of oily, and you just can't touch anything in there without getting greased and oiled up. So I'll give this a squirt over first of all, and then I'll go and change my jumper before I risk putting my armours back in there, because I'll ruin a jumper doing that. So I'll start off by giving a bit of a squirt over everywhere, just to start lifting the grease while I go and get it changed, because this is super, super, super dirty. Mind you, it's probably helped it not rust too much over the years, because the metal these cars are made of is basically tin foil, but a bit thinner. If I can degrease this thing, it'll be an awful lot more pleasant to work on. It's kind of annoying having to clean the engine through the interior. I don't want to get anything onto the car itself and make a mess of the car, but I do need to get all this done. Because it will smell less, get better spark off the ignition, and obviously look an awful lot nicer as well, because people are going to want to see this car, I'm sure. Incidentally, if you're wondering how I was going to change the ignition timing, you would do it from this side of the car, looking in from... You would do it from the back seat area through this panel, where you would then slacken off that bolt there and turn the distributor. Oh, this is so greasy. It must have just been spraying a really fine amount of oil for decades. But the fact it is a Suzuki means that as soon as there was petrol in there, everything just ran. I really wish I could get a rebuild kit for that fuel pump, but I just can't seem to find one. My plan will be to go and change the fuel pump for whatever turns up from eBay, and then keep on looking and see if I can turn up one later on. This won't be the best ever job of cleaning an engine bay because I can't use a hose pipe, but it will certainly improve matters no end. Right, that's a long way from perfect, but it's an awful lot better, so I won't get so greasy every time I touch the car. I'll probably have to do this once or twice again. I think once the car is actually running and I can use the heat of the engine to kind of soften the grease a bit, then we can make a really good go of it. But you know, this, I couldn't touch that without getting greased up. Now I can actually touch that, for example. The exhaust isn't going to smoke. That looks actually quite nice and shiny. I can touch the distributor without getting black hands. What a difference. Right, now I'm going to leave that to dry because I've just had a phone call from the paint shop that my Crown Victoria wings are ready, so I'm going to run away and get them and come back to this shortly. So I'm back and suddenly it's dark and it's not even tea time yet, but I've been on a massive parts running mission today with the phone kept on ringing. New tyres have turned up for the Alpha 145, so I've been and collected them. The wings have been painted for the Crown Victoria, so I've been and collected them. So stuff to come in future videos in the next couple of weeks. However, it did hold me up from doing stuff on the Whizz-Kid. Now, we've got the car to the point where it's virtually running. We've definitely got spark. We know the fuel pump is the problem, and we've even heard the engine run at last. So we know it's a good car waiting to go as soon as that fuel pump arrives from eBay. I don't know what country it's coming from in a few days' time, or a week, or I don't know when, some point in the future. So now we can move on to the more important stuff, the stuff you've all been waiting for, the de-blinging of this car. And honestly, in some ways I feel kind of bad taking this off because this car has been this kind of identity for so long. On the other hand though, it's horrible, so it's got to go. And I'm having a bit of an argument with my son, who is 14 and reckons the bull bar is absolutely fantastic. I, on the other hand, am not convinced, and all the photos I've seen of Whizz-Kids without bull bars I think look way better. However, I think maybe it's been cut into the bumper and we might have to live with it. We'll come back to that, but first of all, these wheel trims have absolutely got to go because, well, they're horrendous. Now, some people have been saying in the comments and on Facebook and things that these are a factory option. I don't believe that is the case. No car design department would ever do that. Apart from the Americans. The Americans would do that. They'd quite like that. But not over here, no. So anyway, let's snip these off and see how much better the car looks with just nothing. So these are actually cable tied in place because it would be awful if we lost these, wouldn't it? That would just be the worst. Although, I am rather grateful they're still here because it means we've still got the Suzuki centre caps, which are definitely, oh, they come off, they're not glued, they come off okay. Oh, they are glued. Oh, thank goodness for that. Someone gummed them on there, so I've still got 4 genuine Suzuki centre caps. I wonder if that is actually, no, this looks like it's part of it. The Bodicea Spartus, whatever you call them, Spartacus chariot death things, I think are part of this wheel trim. Oh, that's really tight. Where is it clinging onto? Is it clinging onto the centre? I think it might be. Wow. Oh, is this thing screwed on? Oh my, it was literally screwed on. Maybe it is factory. I can't believe that's factory. It's horrible. It weighs an absolute ton though. Really heavy and incredibly ugly. That's so much better without that. Now, do these centre caps? No, there's nothing for them to clip onto. Ah, okay, so I didn't notice that. This is like a beauty ring, trim ring, that goes around the edge of this magnificently large 12-inch wheel, and this metal, this is all metal, this bit, this actually screws into the centre hub. So, I see, yeah. Please come off. But there's a big like hexagon bit on the front of that, and this is kind of hollow, so I wonder if the original centre part of that would have clipped onto this hub has been removed, so it would then be glued onto there. But either way, I think that looks significantly better without that. I think I've just put about £1,000 on the value of this car. So this is the rear one. I've cut the other cable ties off, and yeah, it too appears to be screwed into the hub. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's... would a kit have included some kind of tap and die mount? But that's genuine. That you know, can't be real. The car looks so much better without them. I mean, it is very, very 1980s Japanese car to have that on there. It's just horrible. Well, that looks 1,000,005% better. I mean, such a massive, massive improvement. I mean, it completely transforms the style of the car. I do think maybe painting these silver, as I think they would have been originally, might be quite a nice touch. Or just replace it with some really nice aftermarket alloys entirely. But yeah, that looks much better. Now, second big question, what are the seats like? Before I get too carried away with the interior, I just want to say, look at that Suzuki engine cover, or the rocker cover. That suddenly looks so much better. It was all black and grim before. Now it actually looks really quite nice. In fact, the rest of the engine bay did as well, so big improvement all round. We'll do it some more later on. Anyway, that's not what we're here for right now. What we're here for are these tiger face seat covers, which, I don't know, some people say they really like them. I'm not one of them. They've definitely got to go. I mean, as many people have pointed out, it is properly Del Boy Trotter spec. It's very much not my bag, but my hope is that these seat covers have been on here for years and years and years, and what they've done is protect the rare, impossible to replace, fragile vinyl seats underneath. So, fingers crossed, let's pull it back, and we shall see something really not good. Oh, oh no, 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 no. Ew. It's got a foam pad glued to it. Oh no. Oh no, 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 it's as bad as it can get. No wonder the seat covers are on there. I wish to have headrests. God, all of a sudden, the tiger skin actually looks quite pleasant. Damn. Well, I didn't realise it was fabric in the middle and vinyl on the outside, but that's kind of grubby on the outside. That's kind of fixed with gaffer tape on here. Oh man alive. And that is glued to the base, which I assume was either too low or had collapsed. That feels all right. Oh dear me. Yeah, that's not great. I wonder what a set of seat covers cost. So what do you reckon? Scary tiger face or absolutely trashed original seat? You choose. It's always interesting going through an old car and finding what's been left by the previous owners. And this is a film canister, which I found in the footwell. And I wonder what was in it. It turns out to be loads of fuses, which, being someone who has been stung by broken cars many times previously, does give me cause to wonder if there's something that keeps shorting out or breaking. Bear in mind there's also a fuse taped to the lower dashboard with a bit of masking tape near the ignition barrel, so I wonder if something pops on a fairly regular basis to have this many new fuses just waiting to go. We shall find out soon, I guess. I'm going to pop the other seat cover off. I want to see what the passenger one looks like. I'd forgotten that door doesn't open from the outside. I wonder why. So this should just peel up. Oh, it's foamed as well. They're so 1980s. There's also a gallon of water back here. Also cause for concern. Well, it fell off. Oh, the seat recliner thing just fell off. That's good news. It's under the seat. Oh, I think it might have just snapped. No. It did. Oh God, the seat recliner handle just snapped when I pushed it back. Oh. What do you reckon the chances of finding one of them anywhere on planet Earth's going to be? I'm going to go with 0. I mean, literally 0. So with this seat also, oh, it's really, really split. I need to know what I'm dealing with here. It has been cut to fit this chair, but I want to see what the chair is actually like underneath. It's not great. Oh, it's absolutely gone. It's absolutely gone. I can tell that this definitely is a 200,000 mile plus car. You can see the springs. There's no padding left in this whatsoever. Looks like I might be making friends with a car trimmer soon. Now, if you're wondering about the Tiger stuff on the back seat, it is actually glued and screwed to the seat, so it's properly part of it. So I'll finish the engine stuff and I'll come back to that later on, because it's going to take some actual effort to remove that. Blimey. They were fully committed to the Tiger stuff. What is interesting though is there's a hole in the floor. There appears to be a gaffer taped hole in the floor. I don't even want to know. I'm just going to walk away. We never saw that. So episode 2 draws to a close with some big progress with the Whizz-Kid. We now know that the engine runs, we know that everything apart from the fuel pump itself works mechanically, apart maybe from the suspension and brakes, which we have so far ignored. And we know what's underneath those seat covers, and now I want to sit in it even less. But that's by the by, we'll get around to that. Looking behind me, it does kind of seem like I'm developing a nice little retro Japanese corner of the fleet, which I'm in no way upset about at all. I think it's rather cool actually. Always quite like JDM stuff, so got a JDM Unos Roadster, and now we've got one of the rarest Japanese cars in Britain on the fleet, so I'm kind of happy about that. I'm less happy about how much it's going to cost to put this thing back on the road in any form whatsoever. I say back on the road, it could literally drive away right now because it is over 40 years old, it's tax and MOT exempt. Once I've satisfied myself that the brakes work and the steering works, I can literally just drive out onto the road and be happy and enjoy this thing. Although I will probably take it to my MOT man and just get them to give it a once over. But anyway, that's not the point. The point is, it's got body work to do, it's got interior work to do. It needs better wheels. That's the most important thing. Never mind fixing the rust, get good wheels. And those are probably going to have to come from Japan. So we'll look at that in due course. But this is the end of the video for now, unless the postman turns up with the pump in the next 5 minutes before I edit and put this online. Nope. I can't see him coming. Okay, this is the end of the video. If you've enjoyed this, please, as always, hit like and of course subscribe, and join us again next time for more Whizz-Kid and other weird old car content. Thank you for watching and goodbye.